What is going on YouTube? My name is Bancroft. Thank you for tuning in. And today we have another Star Wars matchup. And it is Darth Vader taking on Chewbacca. The Darth Vader player is using the Energy Conversion Lab. And the Chewbacca player is using Jedard. Wow, I just spent the last whole minute making sure I said that right. And I just butchered it. Whatever. As quick reminders, the Vader on the undeployed side has the action for one resource. You could play... if you played a villainous card, you can deal 1 damage to a unit and 1 damage to a base. And on its deployed side, it deals 2 damage to a unit when it attacks. Chewbacca has the action where you can play a unit that costs 3 or less. You do need to play its cost or pay its cost, and that character gains Sentinel. And then on the deployed side, Chewbacca does have Sentinel and Grit, which more damage it takes, the stronger it becomes. Energy Conversion Lab has the feature where you could play a card, energy costs of 6 or less, from your hand and give it ambush, while Jedard City gives a non-leader unit a -4, -0 for this phase. So yeah, we're starting off phase 1 with both seeing the Stormtrooper Lieutenant and a Restore Arc 170, which helps keep, that one has Restore 1, which helps keeps the bases alive, where the Stormtrooper has the ability, when played, you can make an Imperial unit attack with +2/+0. So far, we're kind of seeing what these decks want to do, and for those who aren't familiar, Vader is a deck that likes to kind of normally ramp because it needs to get its cards out as soon as possible. As we can just see, they are playing the Resupply card, which immediately allows them to ramp in energy. The Chewbacca player, playing Rogue Operator, has Saboteur, which gets past Sentinel, which is a great feature, especially when your opponent is trying to prevent you from attacking their base, but also has Raid 2, so normally it's a 2/4, but when attacking, it's going to be a 4/4. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be really good for taking out certain threats. Going into the next phase. Oh yeah, I don't think I said earlier. Don't forget to, if you enjoyed the content, like and subscribe. Let me know what's going on in the comments, and let me know what are you playing when it comes to Star Wars. So we got phase 3 going on right now. No, sorry, phase 4. No, yeah, phase 3 because Vader used Resupply. Gotta love ramp decks. They always throw you off. You gotta look at the non-ramp deck, know what actual phase it is. So we're paying 3, and I think we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, he is going ahead and activating the Energy Conversion Lab to play out the Super Laser Technician to pretty much attack into the Operator. By doing so, it deals the 2 damage, but it allows itself to be ramped right afterwards, and it does stay ready. So it puts him, he pays 3, going down to 2 resources, and it goes back up to 3 resources. The Chewbacca just using its ability to play R2-D2, which allows him to kind of peek the top card of his deck, and he can put it at the bottom or top of his deck. This R2-D2 gets this effect whenever it's played or attacks, and is a 1/4 with Sentinel, so it's kind of stay alive a little bit longer. Vader's trying to just tick at the Operator as much as possible, kind of getting its health down. It is now sitting at a 2/1, but when attack, it will be 4/1. Yep, Wing Leader is very good for the Heroism decks. When it's played, it gives experience token to another friendly Rebel unit. Now that Operator for this phase is, in general, is a 4/6. And when attack, it becomes a 6/6, but it has 3 damage. So right now, it is sitting at a 4. Wow, I can't do math all of a sudden. A 4/3. Wow. So we got the Vader player with 2 open resources, kind of debating on what their next line of play is going to be, because R2-D2 still has Sentinel, so he can't attack into the Operator. He can't stop it from dealing the massive amount of damage it's going to do this turn. So instead, yeah, he's just trying to poke at the R2-D2 as much as possible, trying to dwindle its attack down. The Chewbacca player right now looks like he's just switching. Yeah, he's switching out tokens, getting back some more of the 1 tokens he needs. And yep, and there it goes into the base for 6 damage. That is ridiculous. But Wing Leaders, it's a good card for cards of Rebel units. Vader taking the initiative, and Chewbacca getting 1 more attack in with the Restore Arc, which allows it to go back down to 1 health. This is not looking good for Vader. But going into the next phase, we will have Vader at 7 resources, which is his deploy requirement. Where Chewbacca needs to have exactly 7 resources as well. So we'll see how this goes on the next phase. So kind of doing a regroup, restanding everything, putting a card into the resource. All right, so yeah, beginning the next phase. 7 open resources. You got a lot of options here. I don't think he'll go straight out into the paying 7 straight out. Oh yes, Darth Vader itself. So this card, when played, searches the top 10 cards of your deck for any number of villainous units and of a combined cost of 3 or less, and play each of them for free. So pretty much he's going through his deck, he's going to play a couple cards. Most likely, most people when they play this card, they're only seeing 1 target to play. There is some chances you could play 2. And yeah, it looks like he's about to actually play 2. So he's playing the Death Star Stormtrooper, which is a 3/1, following it up. Oh, that's a good one to find. So following up with the Stormtrooper Lieutenant itself, like I said earlier, it allows an Imperial to attack with +2/+0. So he's using it to immediately sack into the operator over there, getting rid of it. But Vader also has ambush. So he chose to, you choose the order of how things are done during your turn. So since the Stormtrooper was played in the same setup, he chose to use his effect to take out the operator and then immediately swing Vader into the R2-D2, getting rid of that. That way, the Chewbacca can't benefit off the attacking now. And this kind of starts to almost pivot things a little bit. We have General Dordana coming out to play, which, as a reminder, gives other friendly rebel units a +1/+1. And there's the Vader leader coming out now on the board, getting a couple damage out with the wing leader. The thing about Star Wars you have to be careful with is when a board begins to become too much. And Vader is starting to slowly take control of the ground units. And with that leader attacking, it will also allow him to deal 2 damage to anything in any unit. So like he's slowly attacking into the space units right now. But we are still sitting at a 13-6 when it comes to damage. Both these bases are a 25-point health base. Chewbacca has taken initiative, and it looks like that may just end up being a pass now for both players. Yep, going into the regroup phase. Vader will now have 8 resources, while the Chewbacca player, I think, is sitting at a 6. 1, 2, yeah, 6. And that's rough, like, because Chewbacca is not a ramp deck, has no form of ramping right now because it's a blue-yellow. It puts him in a different play style than the Vader player. Like the Vader player is, you see like, oh, this is more of a long game play, and it's like, no. With these ramp cards, this is becoming a mid game for him. So Chewbacca does, so Vader did not choose to resource this phase. Good call. I definitely agree with that. So the Chewbacca player plays the Cloud City Wing Guard, but he did play it with the Chewbacca, which gives it Sentinel already, but it already has Sentinel. I think this was a mix-up because he does give it a shield token. I think the Chewbacca player intended on playing another card, but had grabbed that one instead. This is Overwhelming Barrage is such a great green villainous card. So it gives a friendly unit +2/+2 for the phase. Then it deals damage equal to its power divided as you chose among a number of other units. So he's putting it on the Vader, making Vader a 7/10 for this phase. And now he's able to divvy out that 7 points of damage how he sees fit. And yeah, that was really good. Yeah, there's the second hit. Okay. So just cleaning up the board. sending a couple damage to the Vader's base. Vader will make an attack with the, okay, just clearing out the, completely taking out the board space here. And even though Vader's at 17 and the Chewbacca's at 6, this completely changes the aspect of this match. Because, like, even though Vader's in such a bad... okay, so just as a reminder, the epic action on Jihad City gives a non-leader unit -4, -0, and I think they went ahead and put it on the Vader. Vader turned around playing another Stormtrooper or Lieutenant to kind of give it another +2 to balance it out. But that actually is a misplay. But this was about earlier, like, when it comes to board control, since Vader, he has 5 units in the battle area right now, and with the leader able to kind of slowly snipe cards from here and there, the Vader unit itself is a very strong card as well. So he's able to kind of lock down both areas without even having to play any space units, and has already kind of started to begin turning the tide when it comes to this game plan. Now, Chewbacca does have the initiative. Chewbacca can deploy his leader. He'll make Chewbacca a 2/9 when deployed, but it does have Sentinel, so able to kind of stays in the battle a little bit. And when Chewbacca's attack with Grit, like I mentioned earlier, makes it stronger. So the way it works, for how many damage unit points you have on a card of Grit, they gain +1, +0. So, like, if he does 3 damage to Chewbacca, Chewbacca now becomes a 5/9 instead of a 2/9. So now it's passed back to Vader, who will swing Vader into Chewbacca, which now technically makes Chewbacca a 7/9. Now, the problem is here, gotta use that 7 damage somehow, because if you don't, Vader's just going to take Chewbacca out afterwards. So yeah, swinging 7 into the base. And man, if only that Chewbacca happened to be a 3 of Grit, that would have been game right there. But right now, Vader is sitting at 24 points of damage on his 25-point base. And the Chewbacca player still has 7 open resources, which they can use for anything. The problem is, I do believe Chewbacca will be leaving this phase in a second, either from the 1-cost Stormtrooper on the board, which, I mean, you can even do it with the Stormtrooper Lieutenants, which are 2 damage. All you gotta do is 2. Oh, you gotta do 4 damage to it. That's it. Yeah. Oh, so we got Force Choke instead, which, since he does control a Force unit, he can pay 1 less for this. But it deals 5 damage to a non-vehicle unit that the unit's controller does get to draw a card afterwards. And who knows, maybe he drew this Chewbacca off of it, but the unit Chewbacca, being a 5 cost, has Sentinel as well. And then when its attack gets Radiate, the problem here is that it's a 3/6. Vader is a 5 who on attack will deal 2 damage. So I don't think Chewbacca is lasting. It's just kind of slowing the game down for a bit and hoping that I think the Chewbacca player is hoping to get a super laser blast for next turn, because then he'll have 8 resources. He can completely wipe the board clean and start over. So Chewbacca out, he has 2 open resources. He takes the initiative, which then allows Vader to... I mean, Vader still has, 7 open resources, 3 cards he can attack with. So since the Chewbacca did take initiative, he's going to go ahead and say, all right, cool, I'm going to attack with all 3 of these, which puts him to 23 points of damage, and then turns around and pays 7 for another Vader. Wow. That's really good. And we just got to hope that Chewbacca managed to grab a, I can't think, Super Laser Blast, which defeats all units. Let's see if the Vader player, yeah, okay. So once again, we got another 1-drop, followed up with another 2-drop. Really good. So the secondary card he played, Seasoned Stormtrooper. When you have 6 or more resources, it gains a +2/+0, making it a 4/5. Sorry, a 4/3. And so we're going to the regroup, resetting. That is a lot of units. There's not a lot of options here. Let's see what the Chewbacca player does, since they do have initiative. They are putting a resource out, which puts them at 8 resources. The question is, do they have the card? We can see their hand a little bit. I think that's a takedown. That's a sentinel. And I didn't really see the card on top. Yeah, he's debating between the takedown or something else. I'm sorry, the sentinel or something else. Paying 8. Okay, so he's paying 8 for redemption, which has sentinel, but it's in the space area, unfortunately. But when play, you heal up to 8 total points of damage from any number of unit and or bases. Deal that much damage to this unit. So he's paying 8 to pretty much... Okay, so he used it to get 5 points back, which would keep it alive from when Vader attacks. That might be the reason why he did that, because that unit is a 6/9. If he would have taken all 8, Vader would have just taken it out pretty much. Here we get the Swing of Vader, which will deal 5 damage to base, 2 damage to the spaceship, which puts it at 7 points of damage. But now the Chewbacca player is back at 23 once again. And it's their turn, and unfortunately, there's not much that they can do. Vader finishing the game out with Ruthless Raider, which when played deals 2 damage to an enemy base and 2 damage to enemy unit. What was funny in this interaction, I think for a moment he forgot that base was a 25-point base, because he even said, because the Chewbacca player, all right, cool, that's game. He's like, oh, yeah, it is. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Hope you all enjoyed. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason. But yeah, bye.